And in the battle for the QAFL Premiership, the Mini Skips Premiership, round 5 draws to a close. We're at the halfway stage in this afternoon's game, the curtain raiser between Mayne and Coorparoo. Now, good afternoon to Nat Jackson, my co-commentator this afternoon. You're looking well?
Feeling well, mate. Lovely day here.
We've got a great day for football.
Yeah, the ground is starting to fill up, but very pleasing to see a lot of QAFL supporters coming down to watch this QAFL match, and also fronting up yesterday to see the round of QAFL matches in Brisbane.
Exactly. This will be a regular service provided by TVO during the games here at Coorparoo in the Bears home games. The second half will be screened to you live every Sunday afternoon as the curtain raiser. Nat, yesterday some interesting results in the QAFL and most games going as planned.
I would think so. I didn't see any real shocks there yesterday. I think Southport were expected to beat Western Districts. Morningside and Woolston Grange was expected to be probably a closer game than that. The Grange bubbles burst, but they've got some good footballers there, so I think they can put it together and come back. I haven't seen the competition so even. The top 5 or 6 sides are so very, very evenly balanced that it all augurs very well for a great final series this year.
And it looks as though Southport once again are going to be the team to beat.
A strong side, a very well run club too. A lot of people I feel are a bit jealous of Southport.
Sherwood getting home over Kedron.
I think to be expected. Kedron are in the doldrums at the moment. They've got a lot of work to do. The move that's been mooted, the amalgamation between Mayne and Kedron, I think would be a good move for that area of the city.
And a big percentage boost to Zilmere.
Yeah, Zilmere are going to be a very strong side this year, although it's interesting to note Mayne knocked them off 2 weeks ago, so that only adds fuel to Mayne's fire. I think they're going to be a strong side, Mayne.
Well, we look at the Premiership table, and Southport well and truly on top of the ladder. This is how the top half of the ladder looks, with Southport runners-up last year, seemingly looking the goods again this year, with a healthy percentage break over Morningside.
Yes, well, we've got Southport on 38, Morningside on 33.5. Now, this breakup is caused by the points allocation for winning of a quarter. That 0.5 is brought about by two sides kicking the same amount of scores in the one quarter.
Yeah, so we look at it, so it's 4 points for a win, and if a side leads at the end of each quarter, they get a bonus point.
Whichever side kicks the most in that quarter. So we have Southport on 38, Morningside 33.5, Woolston Grange on 38 points, Windsor-Zilmere 24, and Mayne make up the 5th position at this stage on 16 points, 2 games behind.
And of course today's game won't have a great deal of bearing as far as the 5 is concerned. Sherwood just outside the 5?
Yeah, just outside the 5 on 15 points. I don't know whether they're as strong as I would have thought they would have been earlier. I thought Blurry would have had them a little bit higher up, but nonetheless they're only 1 point away from Mayne, so that makes the 5th spot interesting. And even you still see Sandgate and Coorparoo in with a chance on 12 and 11 points respectively. Western Districts 9.5 and Kedron 5. Now, I think the bottom 2 sides have got a lot of work to do, as have Coorparoo. They've lost a couple of good players today, but then Mayne have also lost some very good players to the state side and the Bears side.
Even so, last year's premiers, Coorparoo, I think most people would have expected them to have been a little higher up the ladder in the early stages of the season.
Yes, I've seen most of their games. They were just beaten by Southport by, I think, 10 points, and they fought it out very, very strongly. I thought with the players they've lost last year, they did an exceptionally good job to get as well as close to Southport as they did, and Southport have recruited very strongly once again, so Coorparoo's effort was all the more creditable for that factor. I've seen them play Mayne, Morningside. Morningside, a very strong side. I think they're going to figure very predominantly in the final series this year. Once again, they went down by 4 points, a very, very small margin, and it was one of those games where either side would have been unlucky to lose and lucky to win.
You still see Southport as basically being favourites for the Premiership even at this early stage of the season?
Well, I think from the year of their inception into the competition, they've started favourite every year, and rightly so. As I mentioned, they're a very well organised club. A lot of people get their backs up and say, oh, they've got too much money and that, but they've gone out and got that money. It's not as if someone rang up and said, here's some. They went and got it, so good luck to them, and I think they're the trend setters, the pace setters. It's up to the other VFL clubs to catch up.
OK, well, we're at half-time. The score at half-time sees Mayne 8-12-60, Coorparoo 4-2-26. It's a disappointing first half for Coorparoo. We've got some highlights to show you now of the first half, and it just really shows how dominant Mayne have been in the first stanza of football. They got the jump. They led by 30 points at quarter-time, Mayne. And at quarter-time, they led 6-7-43. Coorparoo were 2-1-13. Johnny Tapp has played particularly well in the first half for Mayne and probably best on ground, but they seemingly were doing everything right, whereas Coorparoo tended to play short past. Their disposal wasn't as well as what could have been expected. In fact, left a lot to be desired in the early stages of the game. Graham Teasdale playing at full forward for Mayne, their captain coach. He's given them someone to aim at. He's kicked 3 goals up to half-time, and whilst he's not roving as much as what he did perhaps in his halcyon days when he was playing in the VFL, he is still a focal point, and with 3 goals to his credit, he has given the Mayne side someone to aim at up at full forward. Harper has 2 goals up to half-time, singles to Glover, Simpson and Djukovic. In the second half, Mayne continued on with their good play, although they only managed to kick 17 points. They went from 6-7 to 8 goals 12, so they've had plenty of shots at goal, but they just haven't been able to put it through, and it's half-time. They're led by 34 points. Nat, the half-time break, can you see Coorparoo getting back into it?
Well, at this point in time, it doesn't look that promising, Grant, but Coorparoo are a very gutsy side. I've seen them, as I said earlier on, a couple of times this year. Both times they fought back from pretty hard positions and just about got out of it. But today, with Mayne playing the way they are, it's going to be a little bit hard. Coorparoo seem a little bit sluggish, but hopefully they can get their game together. They've got the players to do it, but it depends. If Mayne keep the pressure up that they've exerted on them in the first half, no, it's going to be Mayne's day, but it's not over yet. I think in the first half there, Brett Djukovic played a tremendous game for Mayne. Young Brian Thies, who's come down from Darwin this year, he played very, very well for Mayne. Young Darren Riley, only 16 years of age, has picked up a few good kicks in the forward pocket and around the ground there. Terry Simmons, ex-Coorparoo player with a point to prove, playing very, very well and effective. Phil Harper, probably unlucky not to be included in the stateside, played very, very well. And young Matthew Simpson and Brenton Tapp came into the game in that second half for Mayne. Whereas for Coorparoo, Grant, I thought Terry O'Neill, their captain coach, ex-Fitzroy player, played very well, as did Jeff Everett, also a former Fitzroy player. But the 2 players aren't enough. A couple of other players that jumped in and had a real go for Coorparoo, I thought, were young Gary Nongus, Les Miller, who's kicked a couple of good goals, and that's about all the really good players I can find for Coorparoo, Grant.
So there we see Mayne 6-7-43 at quarter time, led Coorparoo 2-1, a disappointing start for the Roos, and at half time the score 8-12-60, Coorparoo 4-2-26. Again the goal scorers as the umpires come onto the ground and prepare to get the game underway for the second half. For Mayne, Teasdale has 3 goals, Harper 2, singles to Glover, Simpson and Djukovic, whilst for Coorparoo, 2 to big Les Miller, who's been playing at full forward and has given them someone to aim at, Clark and Hoffman singles apiece. Nat, do you think the Coorparoo players have perhaps missed their state representatives more so than the guys from Mayne?
Well, on the face of it, I would have thought it would have been the other way around, Grant, because Mayne have lost Brendan Breen, Rod McPherson, Neil Hine, Adam Garton and Tony Beckett collectively between the Bears and the stateside. So they're 5 exceptionally good players, which any side in Brisbane would miss. Coorparoo are missing Brendan McMullen, Jill Brogan medalist, who is joined by Mike Gibson and Kevin O'Keefe, who unfortunately is out injured. Kevin O'Keefe is one of the linchpins in the Coorparoo side. He provides great on-field leadership. So he's always sadly missed. It looks like Kevin will be out for 3 or 4 weeks, I'd say, Grant, with a knee injury, the same injury that held up his finals preparations last year.
The ball about to be bounced. We're just waiting for the umpires to bounce the ball, and we should be underway with the start of the third quarter.
Yes. Yeah, the sides have lined up pretty much how they were expected to. I don't see any great changes. I think we could look through the Coorparoo side. If we're to see any real changes, I think we'll see them there. Terry O'Neill still at centre half back. Mel Thompson, Mel needs to do a little bit more work at centre half forward there. I think Leskovic's probably had the better of him, but not so much through Bob Leskovic's good play, but more so by the players around him who have made it hard for the Coorparoo players to deliver the ball cleanly down through the centre line.
So a 34-point margin as we start the third quarter. Mayne Coorparoo with Carrara as the ball is bounced. Players go in. Jones wins a tap out, it comes out. Now Mayne try and bring the ball forward. Ball thrown out, the umpires picked it up and will pick up a free kick. Coorparoo, the first to swing into attack in the opening seconds of this third quarter. Kicking towards the highway end of the goal. Nobody at home. Strength in numbers for Mayne in the race for the ball. Teese, who's played particularly well in the first half, gets around a player, shrugs a tackle, looks for something to do with it. Now handballs. Allen kicks the ball forward up towards centre wing. Players fly, they can't take the mark. Ball running close to the boundary line. In front, Mayne bring out of it through Simmons, who brings the ball up to half forward, but nobody home for the Tigers. And a good mark taken by Coorparoo, who repels this attack.
Stephen Pine on the half-back flank kicks a long ball right down to the centre wing, where young Gary Norris on his own takes the ball in the middle of a pack. He goes back to put Coorparoo into attack. He kicks it across towards centre half forward. They fly. Andrew Alinga can't hang on to it. It's kicked out of there by Shipsides. Coorparoo Mayne player fights for the ball, and the umpires decided to ball it up.
No addition to the score. 8-12 plays 4-2. Minute and a half into the third quarter.
It's a ball up again, just off the centre of the ground there. Jones contesting against Kalinga. Kalinga gets the knockout, not effective though in the pack, and the umpires call for it again. Another ball up, just to the left-hand side of the centre, favouring Mayne's scoring end. Up they go again. Kalinga's favoured by the bounce, but the Coorparoo player Gibson knocks it forward. It's knocked again by Lenihan. Strong play. He's grabbed, can't get it out cleanly. Warden trying to pick it up, a handball out straight to Brendan Tapp from Mayne. Cleverly done by Tapp, gets out of trouble. Over to Wern, Wern knocks it down, can't pick it up. Umpires found a free kick to Michael Wern, I think, from Coorparoo, that's right. Wern goes back on the centre wing, looks for a short pass in the centre. Mick Lenihan, he's plenty of pressure, he gets out of it well. A long handball looking for Norris on his own. Norris goes back, kicks it long. No, short to Butch Jones, unattended, right on the 50-metre mark. Might be just a bit far for Butch, but he's kicked some quite good goals, so we'll see how he goes, Grant.
Right on the 50-metre line, wind blowing across the ground, virtually from centre wing to centre wing, up to the 10-metre square. And a good mark taken by Grange in defence. That was taken by Van Haar Warden. He plays on quickly as Mayne run the ball to the outer side of the ground, but a diving attempted mark not taken by Coorparoo. Good backing up by Mayne. They bring the ball wide across the outer side of the ground to the centre wing. Tappy in there for Mayne, swings around, now looks for a teammate in towards the centre of the ground, and in front is Simmons, who takes a mark and cops a little bit of pressure too as he grabs the mark. He plays on quickly and goes to the outer side of the ground forward pocket. Players in the race for the ball. Darren Riley sees the ball go over the boundary line. Outer side, half forward flank, Mayne in attack around about 65 to 70 metres out from their goal. Ball brought back into play. Tap out, Coorparoo in the van. Now they need support. They run it out of defence, running through to the centre. This is good, strong play from Coorparoo, but nobody at home. Players unable to mark. That was Teese, but he butters up well. Good skills and brings the ball forward to the centre of the ground. Djukovic can't handle the ball. Coorparoo swing the ball into attack. Was the ball touched off the boot? No, it wasn't, says the umpire. And a good mark to the Roos, and it was Big Fulton.
That was Clark kicking that ball down to the forward pocket. Les Miller trying to pick it up for Coorparoo. He's knocked over. Scramble of plays there. Miller's got it this time. He's grabbed. Norris on his own. Will he get a shot away? No. Handball away. The umpire says play on. Mayne player grabbed Harper. Norris back in there fighting hard for it. Mayne all over the top. The umpires call for a ball up about 40 metres out, dead in front for Coorparoo. Jones is in there for Coorparoo, once again contesting with Halinga. Jones, a good tap down, but no one there for Coorparoo, and Teese picks it up again, having a very good quarter, Brian Teese. Very clever, picks it up, comes back onto his left foot, across goals. He's got a teammate there in Allen. Allen dummies, comes back towards the centre, long kick down. But it's Wern and Tapp. Tapp fighting for the ball, comes up with it well, he's caught. Simmons in the centre of the ground. He'll go long looking for Teesdale.
Teesdale the lead, he's in front, he's impeded. Ball goes over the back of the pack, running hard for the ball. The Coorparoo defence led by Griffin runs the ball across the boundary line. Mayne in attack, just a matter of a couple of metres around from their goal. Good play then from Mayne. When they bring the ball forward and that, they do look well, don't they? They team particularly well.
Straight down the centre of the ground and very quickly.
Ball comes back into play. Ross in there for Coorparoo, wins the tap out. Players battle for the ball. Now the Coorparoo defence standing. A bit of a throw, maybe not, says the umpire. The ball just travels 10 metres and is marked by O'Neill. He goes to the outer side of the ground. Good mark. No, good lead. Mark not accepted by Coorparoo. They swing the ball forward. Mayne in towards full forward. Teesdale leads. Goes to thump. And the ball goes close to the boundary line and indeed trickles over. So they're doing all the attacking, Mayne, in the early stages of this third quarter, 5.5 minutes in.
Yeah, they've been the better side for the first half as the ball's thrown into the right-hand side of the Mayne goals. Teesdale contests with Ross. Ross knocks it away. It's picked up by Kelvin Miller. Comes back in field of Stephen Pine. Pine fumbles. Back to Terry O'Neill. Cool as ever. O'Neill takes his time, looks for a man out on the wing. It'll be Warden. Warden can't take it.
Mackenzie butters up. Can't pick up the ball. He's tackled. No play on, no whistle from the umpire. Players go in hard. Still play on calls the umpire as Anthony Allen brings the ball out for the Mayne side. Trying to battle for possession. Players go in hard. Still no whistle on play. Handball. Oh, it's a widow make, but they get out of it, Mayne. They bring the ball forward with good determined play from Leskovec. Now the ball comes through. Mayne with handball is intercepted. It comes out now to Carter. He thumps the ball forward towards full forward, 30 metres out. Coorparoo with defence knocked the ball away from Riley. He butters up though. He can't pick up the ball. Ball runs free. Now Coorparoo in numbers. Good backing up as they clear the ball up towards the centre of the ground. Good mark taken by the Roos.
A nice mark there from Butch Jones, very strong overhead. Jones goes back down long to centre half forward, looking for Les Miller. He can't handle it. Picked up quickly there by Warden. Warden with a right foot snap, looking for Clark, can't find him.
This should be a goal. Put down the glass of Lenahan from point
and
blank
I think
range.
he's hit the post. He hit the post there, Grant. 1 point's the score for Coorparoo. They move on to 4 goals 3, trailing Mayne 8 goals 12.
7 minutes into this third quarter at Carrara in the battle for the QAFL Mini Skips Premiership. Mayne looking the goods. They lead by 34 points.
Yes.
And there's just
Lenahan's been given a free kick here. He's gone back, and I think the umpire must have felt that he was harshly dealt with after he got rid of that ball, I think, Grant. So he's had the second chance and made no mistake. So that's another goal to Coorparoo. They move on now. It's Mayne 8 goals 12-60 to Coorparoo 5-2-32. And Coorparoo need a couple of quick goals to stay in this contest, Grant.
Actually, they started the second quarter. They looked fairly good, but they seemed to die after about 5 or 6 minutes of a concerted effort. And unfortunately, Mayne managed to get on top. Change coming on.
I don't mean to seem too critical. I'm an old Coorparoo man, but not that old, by the way. And but Coorparoo seemed that little bit slow to the ball. There we go again, and it's Butch Jones contesting, but it's brought out by Junkovic for Mayne. A long kick, once again looking for Teasdale. He can't mark it. It's on the ground. Scrambly play. Keys picks it up. An ineffective kick goes out towards the forward pocket with Darren Riley in pursuit. Handball's back over his head to no one, and it's picked up by Scott Chapman. He kicks it in towards Mick Glover, unattended, only about 30 metres out, just to the right of the centre.
He thought twice about playing on. Thought about it once, thought about it the second time. I thought, discretion, the better part of Vella will have a set shot from around about 35 metres out. Prove on the ground for Coorparoo in replace of Gibson. This shot for goal is offline. Umpire moves across. No, they're clapping it through, Graham Teasdale. That's his second goal for the game. So it's 9-12-66 Mayne. Coorparoo 5-2-32 and a quick answering goal.
Yes, Mick Glover, probably a little bit lucky to get away with that, Mick, but nonetheless the opportunity was taken. And that, was it 9-12 to 5-2, 4 goals 10. Very, very bad kicking on Mayne's part, but they've had control of this game from the outset. So Coorparoo have got a lot of work to do to get back into this game, and if they're going to do it, it's got to be very, very quickly this next quarter, or it'll be too late. The big men fly again. It's Jones against Alinga. Jones, ineffective knockdown again from the centre. Tap tries to get it. He gets it onto his right boot. Kelvin Miller unattended, running back. Nice mark, plays on. Runs the ball long down towards centre half forward. Mel Thompson, the only one home for Coorparoo, and marks on his chest. Plays on quickly. Mick Lenahan coming through again. Can't grab it. It's knocked forward by Jeff Everett, Fitzroy, former Fitzroy player.
This is poor play because they should have been
Mick Warden trying to get away from his man, but he can't. Everett looking for someone loose there, and it's Darren Hoffman. No, Gary Norris has picked it up. Tries to dummy around. No one home for Coorparoo here. The main defenders come out in mass. No, Les Miller's got it, a handball to Mick Lenahan, a left foot snap, looks good, and the Roos are back in at 6 goals 2 to 9 goals 12.
Good play, Coorparoo. They set themselves up. I thought on the forward line, on the half forward line, they might have been lucky. We saw 2 Coorparoo players going for the ball. One of them wasn't prepared to shepherd, and I thought they're going to lose this, but persistence paid off, and they put their 6th goal on the board, and that's Lenahan's first goal for the game. 9-12-66. Not the best of kicking by Mayne. Coorparoo making the most of their opportunities. 6-2-38, so a 28-point margin.
Back in the centre now. Les Miller had a lot to do with that goal. A quick handball out. Back in the centre now, it's Jones again versus Halinga. Jones flies. Halinga wins that down to Simpson. Can't get a kick away. Tap reads it off the pack well. Goes for a bounce. One bounce. Long looking for looking for Riley. Can't mark. Marked in front by Gray for Coorparoo. Gray goes back. Left foot kick out to the wing. And that's Wern marks that. Steve Wern on his left boot now goes long. No one home for Coorparoo here. It's all Mayne, and Alinga takes a mark. No, the umpire says play on. It's Carter, handballs across to Harper. Harper back to Simpson. Simpson kicks it long on his left foot to centre half forward. Terry O'Neill, good attempt, couldn't take it.
I thought the umpire should have paid that fingertip mark. Now the umpire's picked out a free kick. Play on he calls as the players use the advantage rule. It goes through for a minor score. So Mayne move on now to 9-13-67. Coorparoo 6-2-38. 11.5 minutes we've gone in this third quarter. The second half at Carrara, live and exclusive to TVO Sport. Ball comes towards the grandstand side of the ground, close to the boundary line. Players fall on top. Alinga may have received a push in the back, not paid by the umpire. Now it comes out to Simmons. He runs around, looks for someone at centre half forward, centres the ball. Ball just doesn't quite carry. 2-on-1. Coorparoo will get out of this through numbers. They do a bit of shepherding, good team play as they bring the ball up towards the centre wing. Can't handle the ball. There's the big fellow in Thompson. Now he does. Goes onto his right boot, kicks it up towards centre wing, and a good mark taken by Hoffman. He plays on quickly, looking for teammate, goes up forward and is marked by Lenahan, who's been in everything in this first 11 or 12 minutes of this third quarter. He plays on quickly, goes onto his left boot, looking up forward. Players can't mark, ball is thumped forward. Now running through is Norris. Has a shot for goal from 35 metres out. The ball takes it offline and goes through for a minor score. 6-3-39. Coorparoo, Mayne 9-13-67. They look good when they run the ball, Nat, but they don't do it often enough.
Well, they certainly do. Carter brings it back out on the half-back flank. A mark taken by Tapp, plays on quickly. Poor kick. Simmons finds it. A handball back here to Campbell. Campbell running. He's got clear. He's got a paddock to run in. He's had a bounce. Once again looking for Teasdale. Up there, Teasdale in front and takes the mark. He's well within kicking distance, but plays on very, very quickly.
Gets it across to Allen, who is intercepted. Now push in the back. The umpire's picked it up. It happened right in front of him, no more than 10 or 15 metres. And the recipient of the free kick is Phil Harper, who'll kick from just outside the 50-metre line.
He just about kicked that from there, Grant. That breeze isn't going to be troubling him too much. Quite a good kick, Phil Harper, but it's still a fair distance, 50 metres. We'll see how he goes.
Man standing the mark right on the 50-metre line.
Steve Pine, he was. It
Harper
started
looks for a short pass. Teasdale leads and takes a good mark on his chest. Experienced, Nat.
Yes, he'll have no trouble with the distance. They've got to watch Teasdale all day. He's nowhere near as quick as he was, but he's got a good football head on his shoulders, and that experience shows. I saw him play against Kedron last week. He kicked 7 in the first half.
The Brownlow medalist lines up from 35 metres out on an angle. He'll be kicking, he'll be allowing for the breeze to bring the ball back into the goals. To drop punt. Looks good off the boot.
I think he's missed it.
Puts up the one finger. Just didn't allow enough for the breeze. The goal you would normally expect Teasdale to kick.
Yeah, you won't see him miss too many like that this year. Anyway, it's back out to Ross from the kick out. Ross takes a mark in the forward pocket. Ineffective football. Gained nothing, I thought. He goes back now. I think they're messing around with the ball too much, Grant. This is dangerous, bringing it across goal like that. Simmons leads in the race for the ball. Glover's backing him up. Provey can't do anything effective to stop him. Simmons bounces, comes around in towards centre half forward. Looks like Harper. No, not Harper.
Good strong mark.
I think that's Simmons.
He was under plenty of attention.
Matthew Simpson. Yeah, nice strong mark too. Steve Pine just that little bit late on the scene, Grant.
Must have had a bit of a worry flicked through his mind too, because he had to prop and wait for the ball to come, and that's the thing which most forwards or most players when they're going for a mark worry about. The kick is offline. One
behind. Bit of bad news for Coorparoo down here, Grant. Looks like Les Miller, last year's captain of 2 premiership sides, has been brought off with a bad ankle, it looks like, but I don't think he's done a lot of pre-season, so you know, it's bad news for Coorparoo, who was their only effective forward play. Good mark taken there by Butch Jones, having a great tussle with Andrew Alinga in the rucks. 2 big strong men. Butch Jones, he looks for Warden, can't take it, picked up by Stephen Pine. Little one looking for Mick Lenahan again. He's getting loose everywhere, Mick Lenahan. Long pass, kick in towards centre half forward, where he found Everett. Everett on his right foot once again.
Kicks the ball up forward, leading in the race for the ball.
It's Dave Wern, and he snaps it through for another goal to Coorparoo. Good comeback, Grant.
They are playing well. Yes, I just wonder, seemingly though, every time Coorparoo managed to put a goal on the board, Mayne have the answer.
Yes, they've done it well, Mayne, and let's Let's see, Mayne foot only the one on the board this quarter, and that's that Coorparoo's third, Grant?
That's two for Coorparoo for this quarter. Lenahan and Wern both with singles apiece.
I think Lenahan's kicked two this quarter. So there were 4 goals, 4 goals, 2, Grant. So they've kicked 3 this quarter. That's right.
Well, the ball back in the centre of the ground. 15, almost 16 minutes into the third quarter with Carrara. Ruckman go. Coorparoo bring the ball forward again, although the kick doesn't travel that far. Coorparoo in numbers, but the ball fed out to Leskovic, who runs the ball down towards half forward, but nobody at home for Mayne. And the umpire, obviously the ball was touched off the boot, and the umpire's called for a ball up. It looked fairly good from where we were sitting, but then again, we are a fair way away from the action.
I think the ball hit the ground, Grant. The umpire saw that, so he had no option but to call play on.
The ball up, out of sight of the ground, half forward flank, Mayne in attack. Now they swing the ball out, they bring the ball forward. Allen's kick is smothered. He butters up again. He's a terrier. Hoffman comes through for Coorparoo and has received a free kick.
Yeah, that smother that Coorparoo just put on there, that's been a trademark of their game this year, but that's the first one I've seen all day, so that might augur well, Grant, if they're going to start getting a little more desperate, which is what they need to really get back into this game. Anyway, Norris can't take the mark. Main player Thies claims it. Right foot down the centre wing, looking for Simpson, unattended. He gets around a Coorparoo player easily. Long left foot kick, looking for Teasdale in front, punched away by Ross. That's Keys in there, a right foot snap over his shoulder, goes probably make rain for the Bears later on. Anyway, it's knocked down. Main players unattended, could be dangerous here, but no, the umpires assessed it as being over the line in the left forward pocket for Mayne there, so it'll be a throw in about 10 metres around from the main goals. Dangerous for Coorparoo here, Grant.
17.5 minutes into the third quarter, 69 plays 45. Ball brought back into play. Comes out to Keys, who has another high kick. It goes 50 metres up and 20 metres long. Harper can't take the mark. He goes high. A snap for Mayne is offline and will go out of bounds on the full. Anthony Allen unable to bring the ball around far enough, and the resultant free kick will be taken by Coorparoo as they bring the ball to the half-back line, and the mark taken by Stephen Wern. He plays on quickly, goes wide, and looks for Big Jones, who takes the mark on the outer side of the ground, half-back flank. He brings the ball in towards the centre. Players battle for position. Running through with strength was Clark. Couldn't take the ball with him. Players dive on top of the ball. Now the umpire blows a whistle and says, "Give it to me, we'll have a ball up." 69 plays 45. Coorparoo looking the goods. 3 goals this quarter, 2 to Lenahan, 1 to Wern. Mayne's 1 goal has come from Glover. Ball up centre wing. Players jockey for position. Ball is thumped out. It comes down to Mayne as they bring the ball forward. Looking for Teasdale, he's behind. And Coorparoo, strong defence, will clear the ball as they bring it up towards the centre of the ground. Nobody home for the Roos. And that mark taken for Mayne by Simmons. He plays on quickly and finds at centre half forward his teammate in Leskovic. He plays on quickly, goes to the pocket. Allen picks it up, runs around, has a shot at goal. Looks good, but just a little bit wide, and will go through for a minor score.
Yeah, they've still got those loose men all over the ground. Too often you see the main players marking unattended. There's only 3 or 4 really effective players for Coorparoo, so there's a lot of those fellas have got to lift their game, and Terry O'Neill even's gone a little bit quiet in this quarter. I suppose that most people expect too much from Terry. He's had a good game, don't take me the wrong way, but he's probably concentrating too much on these other players. Anyway, the ball comes out to centre half back. It's Provey in there for Coorparoo. Can't pick it up. Tap on the ground there for Mayne, and the umpires opted to ball it up between centre and centre half back for Coorparoo. It's Clark in the ruck for Coorparoo against Halinga for Mayne. Halinga seems to have been on the ball the whole day. Halinga wins that one. A good strong knockdown straight down the ground towards goal. A little handball out to Simpson. Simpson on the left foot. No, she's out of bounds on the full, I think. Yes, about 20 metres around from the main goals, and it'll be a free kick to Coorparoo.
And he was disappointed too, Nat. He was expecting better things of himself. I think perhaps a little bit harsh. He was under pressure and running towards the boundary line.
It must have been touched off the boot, Grant, because the umpire's throwing it in rather than giving a free kick.
Now Coorparoo defence. They need strong defence. They've got numbers and they back up. This is better for Coorparoo. A long handball comes out to Provey. He breaks a tackle, gets a handball back. It comes out to Lenahan, who kicks the ball long up towards centre wing. The back of the pack, no one at home for Coorparoo. And Mackenzie clears up towards centre half forward. Oh, had a fit of the fumbles, and Coorparoo bring the ball out through the agency of Stephen Mayne. He brings it up towards the centre of the ground, and a good strong mark. Yeah, the umpire's paid that to Big Jones. He goes on, looks for his teammate, finds him in Everett, who runs through centre half forward, and a good pass. Finds
David Wern over
David
there.
Wern. Yeah, David and Stephen, they're a bit of a worry, aren't they?
A bit hard to pick. He's about 30 metres out, just about straight in front. They shouldn't have any trouble with the distance. That wind is a little bit tricky, straight over the ground, straight across the ground. He comes in on the left foot. Plenty of distance, and it looks pretty good from here. It's another goal to Coorparoo, and they move along to 8 goals 3, 51 to Mayne's 9 goals, 15 behind, 69 points. A lot closer now than what they started this quarter, Grant.
My word, David Wern's second goal for the quarter. Well, there was 34 points the gap at half-time, so they brought it back to 18 points. So only 3 goals in it, and they look as though they may be able to go on with the game, Coorparoo, but
yes.
it just depends on how much Mayne are prepared to give up. And I don't think they're prepared to give up without a fight, particularly under Graham Teasdale.
Neither of them will give up. Very talented young boys, those Wern boys, David and Stephen, both from Mount Gravatt, and I think they're 17, 18 respectively.
Got a good future ahead of them by the looks of things.
Yeah, knocked down by Halinga. The scrimmage in the centre of the ground. Once again, it doesn't get out cleanly, and the umpire's opted to ball it up again. Just a little bit the grandstand side of the centre circle. Lovely day for it, Grant. They've got no excuses. The ground's a little bit soft, but otherwise everything else is perfect for football. Jones goes high, knocks it down, but it's sharked by Harper onto the right boot, looking for Riley, but it's chipped in there as Simpson. A bad handball picked up by Terry O'Neill, who goes for a run around the far side of the ground on the wing, looking for Thompson at centre half forward, and he's found him. Thompson.
Thought about playing on too. The umpire has called play on. He was legged.
They need Mel Thompson firing, Grant, if they're going to do any good through their forward line there, because they now without Les Miller, there's not a great deal of height on the Coorparoo forward line.
Now it looks as though they're going to have to rely on their running players, their Rovers half forwards, to kick the scores for them. Everett is legged, but he butters up well. Continues to play, taps the ball on the ground, runs towards full forward. Not a strong kick, nobody at home for Coorparoo. And leading in the race for the ball, Shipsides for Mayne. He brings the ball out, looks as though they'll clear the ball, although a confrontation coming up as players go in hard. By gee, no quarter asked, none given. Umpire calls a halt to proceedings, and looks as though we'll have a ball up in the forward pocket, about 25 metres out from Coorparoo's goal. They trail 70 to 51 by 19 points.
It'll be Thompson in ruck for Coorparoo, and Halinga again. Thompson sharks out onto the right boot, but it's smothered off the boot, and it's out of bounds in the left forward pocket for Coorparoo, about 5 metres around from their behind post. 9 goals, 16 Mayne to 8 goals, 3, 51 Coorparoo.
Getting close to time on, 23.5 minutes into the third quarter.
Knocked out by Halinga. It's sharked by Norris on the left foot. Knocked backwards, Halinga's grabbed it. He's grabbed in turn, and the ball's on the ground. The umpire once again balled it up. A lot of scrambly play in patches here, Grant. Seem to be a lot of ball ups, but the umpire hasn't had much option because the players are pretty keen to get in there amongst it.
As I say, no quarter asked, none given. There's the ball up in the pocket. Coorparoo desperate for another goal. They're not going to get it by the looks of things, not in the immediate future, because good defence by Mayne. Bring the ball forward, the outer side of the ground, but the ball goes over on the full, and Coorparoo will have the free kick from half forward, about 75 or 80 metres out from goal. Ball brought back in towards centre half forward. Players can't mark. Provey in there for Coorparoo. He can't get to the ball. It comes out. Tunnel ball in effect. Provey goes in again, and we'll get a free kick for a high tackle.
He ducked his head there. A little bit lucky to get away with it. I don't agree with that rule, Grant. When the players duck their head, I feel they should accept the consequences.
But
anyway,
he did put his body in.
Provey into centre half forward to Jones, unattended. A little bit far out to score from there, but he'll put it long into their forward line. There's a lead there from Delaney, who's been quiet all day. He can't take it. Neither can Thompson. It comes away through the agency of Shipside. Norris grabs it. He's grabbed the ball on the ground, and it's another ball up by the look of things, out just wide of the centre half forward position, the far side of the ground in Coorparoo's attacking zone.
We approach time on. In fact, 25 minutes into this last quarter. 70 plays 51. and the Tigers lead by 19 points. Ball up half forward, out of side. The Tigers thump the ball forward, back towards the centre of the ground, almost as good as a kick. Players go in hard. Coorparoo, can they bring the ball out? Provey there, he can't gather. Norris goes in for the ball. He gathers, now gets a quick kick. He goes up towards the outer side of the ground in front of the scoreboard and will trickle across the boundary line and be brought back in for a boundary throw in around 30 metres away from Coorparoo's goal. Still an attack, Nat.
Yes, Coorparoo need a goal here to make it a very interesting tussle in this last quarter. Knocked down by Thompson. Down to Hoffman, he gets it back to Thompson. Dropping the ball, says the umpire, and it'll be a free kick to Mayne. Looks like a linger to take it. Andrew, no, it's Phil Harper who's playing well, must be playing on the ball this quarter. A long kick there, looking for Knight, who's on the ground now. I'm not sure whose place he's taken. Picked up by Chapman, he's grabbed. Knight can't handle it. O'Neill in there for Coorparoo. Twists, turns, back onto his left boot. Short pass, nearly intercepted by Allen, who knocks it over the line and out of bounds on the far half-forward flank for Coorparoo.
Made the most of their scoring opportunities, 11 shots at goal. They've put 8 through the big sticks, whereas Mayne have had 25 shots for goal and only managed 9 goals. So maybe bad kicking is bad football. We'll see what happens this time as Mayne pick it up through Teese. He goes towards the outer side of the ground. His kick is smothered. The umpire's picked a free kick out and will give it to young Brian Teese.
It's going to Teese. Umpire felt he was held without the ball. He plays on quickly towards centre half back. Delaney can't hang on to it. It's Lenihan again. A long handball, 2 Coorparoo players unattended. Yes, I think they put it through for another goal, and that looked like, who was that? Michael Warden, I think, Grant.
I think it was Warden, yeah.
30 metres out, straight through the middle. So Coorparoo now 9 goals, 3, 57 to 9, 16, 70. Different game, Grant.
We've got a ball game on our hands at half time. It almost looked how far Mayne, but by gee, Coorparoo with a depleted side, they're not prepared to throw the towel in, and this is going to make for an interesting last quarter. 27 minutes into this third quarter, so not a great deal of time left, one wouldn't think, before they blow the siren for lemon time. Ball back in the centre of the ground. Big Jones wins a tap out. It's intercepted. But now Lenihan gathers the ball. He goes forward as Coorparoo swing into attack again. Norris. There's a go if he can stand up. Norris has a look at the goals. He goes under the boot. It looks good. Goal.
Another one to Coorparoo. Well done, Gary Nongers. They call him Nongers. Gary Norris. Been playing well all day, and it's once again Mickey Lenihan being instrumental in that goal from out of the centre. Once he's got on top in that centre, Grant, he's swung the game around Coorparoo's way. There's been no great advantage in the ruck with Alenga and Jones probably line ball.
Yeah, they've tended to nullify each other, haven't they?
They haven't been able to get any effective knockouts, but Lenihan in there, scouring in there like a little bulldog. He's been pulling that ball out of the centre. He's from the centre line down. He seems to be everywhere. Anyway, 10 goals, 3, 63 Coorparoo, 9, 10, 70 Mayne. 7 points the difference. At the 26-minute mark in the third quarter, sorry. Jones and Hellinger again. No one gets the knockout. It's picked up by Hoffman. He's grabbed. Ball on the ground. Umpires elected to ball it up again, right in the centre of the ground here at Carrara.
28.5 minutes into the last quarter. Siren imminent for three-quarter time. I think Graham Teasdale were looking for a breather so he can regather his thoughts for an assault in the last quarter.
Yeah, if Coorparoo could get another goal here, they'd be very, very pleased. Anyway, the ball's out to Mick Glover. He gives it over to Djokovic. A long right foot kick. Looks pretty good, actually. No, it's off to the left. It's gone through for one behind.
I don't think Graham Teasdale will be entering next year's stall gift the way he was feeling then.
No, Teaser, he's a good footballer. There's still plenty up there, and he can show the young blokes at Mayne a thing or two. He got a good football head on his shoulders, Grant.
My word. Now Warden gathers the ball from the kickoff. He goes in towards centre half back. His
bad
kick
football.
is intercepted. It comes out to Mayne. Oh, just
Simpson hits the post. Now, he's a very underrated footballer, Matthew Simpson. Grant, he's talking to Graham Teasdale. He tells me that Simo's been the best on the ground, one of their best players the last couple of weeks, and he's been very effective when he's got the ball today. And what Graham told me was that he's been inclined to be a fringe player, but he's now got him diving into packs and that. And he's a good, strong player. He's just got that confidence now. Anyway, there goes the siren for three-quarter time. Grant, do you want to wrap that up?
Mayne 9-18-72, Coorparoo 10-3-69. We'll be back to wrap up the third quarter highlights after this break. Back at Carrara in just a few moments.
You there? All right, well, just looking out across the ground, the Coorparoo erecting a sign right in front of us here with their right.
Yeah. No, it's... Yeah. Jeff, we're not going on to the set, are we? We're staying here. So commentators on the set. No.
What's happening with you? Doing a wrap up here?
Yeah.
We just
come back and we'll recap.
Okay.
I'll leave it alone. And welcome back to Carrara. Three-quarter time in the curtain raiser between Mayne and Coorparoo. A much better quarter for the Roos. Mayne, 9 goals, 18-72. Only managed 1 goal in that third quarter as Coorparoo came back with 6, and it's three-quarter time, 9-18-72. Mayne lead by 9 points. Coorparoo 10-3-63. Coorparoo's revival in that third quarter brought about by Lenihan. Natty played well.
Yeah, he's a very talented footballer, Mick Lenihan, underrated. I saw him play a lot of football last year. I know Coorparoo's previous coach, Laurie Pendrick, had a very high opinion of him, as does Kevin O'Keefe and Terry O'Neill. He's one of those fellas, very unassuming sort of a bloke, but when it gets to the business end of things, you can always rely on Mick to be there, but he's set up a couple of good plays there. As well as Mick Lenihan, I think Gary Norris has played a great game, probably the smallest player on the ground, but been in everything. Butch Jones, I don't think he's shirked the issue. He and Andrew Halenga have had a great battle without either of them gaining any ascendancy, but I do believe that the player out of those two that really keeps the body in there for the last quarter could have the telling effect on the result of the game.
Warden hasn't put in a bad third quarter either.
Warden's had quite a good game, mate. Djokovic has done some great things for Mayne. He came into it in a couple of spasms in that third quarter. His first half was exceptionally good. If he can come good again in this last quarter, they're going to make it very, very hard. What have we got there, Grant? 9 points the difference. Only 2 kicks in it, really. Also, I think Simpson's played well for Mayne, as has Thies, and Tapp quietened a little bit in that second quarter.
I was about to say to you, yeah, Tappy was virtually unsighted in that third quarter. After a magnificent first half, he virtually went out of the game. He was unsighted.
He's had a lot of trouble with his back, Grant. He's a week-to-week proposition, a bit like Kingston Town was in the last year or so. But anyway, Tony Allen not having the bearing on the game I thought he would have with his VFL and VFA experience. Terry O'Neill, well, he's been quiet, but he's always been reliable. He's set up a couple of nice passages of play on the far side of the ground there. Jeff Everett, his VFL experience has become obvious there across the half-forward line. Coorparoo will sadly miss Les Miller, who from up here looks like he's got a calf injury by the look of it. He's got an ice pack on the left calf there, so it could be a calf strain. But this is shaping up to be quite a good last quarter because, if anything, Grant, the wind has swung around a little bit and could favour the end Coorparoo kicking too slightly in this final quarter.
See Graham Teasdale at three-quarter time when he was talking to his players. He's not the hot gospeler type of coach that we see with, say, a John Devine or one of those sorts of players. He tends to talk to his players more than anything and explain things. And I just wonder what he's saying at three-quarter time.
I think what Graham will be telling his players is similar to what he told them at quarter time, that they have to be a little more desperate for that football, because it was evidenced in that third quarter there that they weren't as keen to get in and get that ball as Coorparoo, and their skills level fell right away in that third quarter, although in the first half they were well and truly above Coorparoo.
See Darren Riley on screen at the moment. And he's talking to his players, asking them for a supreme effort for this last quarter to get up and maybe obliterate that 9-point margin, and also maybe come away with the 4 points. We'll be back with the start of the final quarter after this break.
It's all right, stay with me.
Okay. Play in progress for some 30 seconds in the last quarter, and Coorparoo win the tap out from the centre. They brought it forward with good team play, and a mark taken on the outer side of the ground by Everett. In the forward pocket, around 35 to 40 metres out from goal. And this is what Coorparoo were looking for, and that to get that first goal on the board and bring the margin back to 3 points.
Make it very interesting, Grant, if Jeff Everett can put this one through. Right foot kick. Looks pretty good from here, Grant. And it's a goal. So that makes it very interesting now. 9 goals, 18, 72 Mayne. Play Coorparoo. 11 goals, 3, 69. 3 points the difference with 1 minute, less than 1 minute on the board, on the time clock in this final quarter here at Coorparoo. Just 3 points down, Coorparoo. A good comeback so far.
They really wanted that first goal in the opening minutes of play, didn't they? They looked good. They brought the ball out of the centre. Here we go. Here's the kick, the replay. A good kick off the boot, a drop punt. No doubt from the time it left the boot. As we bring you back to the centre of the ground, ball up. Coorparoo try and bring the ball forward again. Mayne in the lead for the ball. They're tackled, pushing the back, not paid, as Chapman picks up and brings the ball forward up towards centre half forward. Players fly, they can't take it. Neither too can Riley, he loses the ball. Players go in hard. Now Lenahan in there again on the bottom of the pack. Gee, he's put in all day, Lenahan. Coorparoo with good play. It comes out to young Stephen Wern. But they lose the ball as Mayne bring the ball forward. Not a good kick by Shipsides off the side of the boot. It bounces just inside the boundary line and goes over. Will be brought back into play around 40 to 50 metres out from goal, in the pocket, right in front of the sponsor boxes.
Ross Can't get the knockout. It's kicked off the ground by a Mayne player down deeper into the forward pocket, where it rolls over the boundary line about 20 metres around from the Mayne behind post.
See Teasdale in ruck there, Nat, too.
Yes, I think when you've got players of his size in the forward line, it's suited to waste a ruckman coming down the ground. Let him sit back and kick behind the play. Back into play. The ball comes. It's grabbed by Teasdale. Left-handed handball back out there to Knight. Knight knocks it over to Simmons. He's grabbed, knocks it ahead. Johnny Provey comes through strongly from Coorparoo. Mick Lenehan soccers it off the ground. It's over the centre line where Wayne Clark leads in the race for the ball. Picks it up, a handball across to Malcolm Thompson. Thompson goes back in field. A little pass looking for Gary Norris, who fumbles badly. He's picked up by Thies. He's grabbed. Delaney on. He's a left foot kick. He turns around. He fires long. It's got to bounce the right way, and it doesn't. It goes straight through for one behind to Coorparoo. So that's 11 goals for, 70 points to 9-18, 72 at the 3-minute mark in this final quarter.
And Coorparoo looking good in the early stages of this last quarter too. They look as though they seemingly are a team with a purpose.
Yeah, they've got a lot of intestinal fortitude, Coorparoo. They know that everyone's going to judge them and compare them with last year's side, which was a pretty good outfit. So they've got a lot to live up to. They've only won 1 out of 4 games, but been a little bit unlucky not to have won 3 or 4 of those.
Alinga took a good mark off the kick in. Now they bring the ball forward.
Good football by O'Neill. Knocks it onto Kelvin Miller. Miller, long handball across to Norris. Norris in trouble. Handball's away. It's grabbed by Simpson. Ball on the ground. Provey over the top, and the umpire calls for another ball up in the centre of the ground, just wide of the centre.
So a 2-point margin. Mayne 72, Coorparoo 70, 11-4 plays, 9 goals, 18. Mayne lead by 2 points at the 4-minute mark of the last quarter. Ball up in the centre of the ground. Big Halinga in ruck for Mayne. The ball comes out. Coorparoo looking to grab at the ball and bring it into attack. They can't do it as yet. Mayne defence standing firm. Umpires called a whistle on play.
Free kick to Matthew Simpson in the centre of the ground. He goes back. Sorry, Tony Allen. Tony Allen with a right foot kick out to the wing. Finds Scott Chapman unattended there. He goes long in towards centre half forward. It's a long kick. Looking up there for Knight. Knight nearly takes the mark from behind, but can't quite grab it. Cardray knocks it forward. Mayne on their own. Looks like Teasdale running into an open goal, and there it is. Another goal to Mayne. 10 goals, 18, 78 to 11 goals for 70.
Graham Teasdale's 4th goal for the game. His first in the second half. He had 3 goals up to half-time, and hasn't really been in much of the play in the 3rd quarter, but that goal will be a lift and a good captain's goal, even though it wasn't a great deal of hard play required to get the ball through. A good team play brought it up, and that was the goal that Teasdale was looking for to maybe give them a little bit of breathing space.
That's right. Well, it's 8 points the difference again now as we're back into the centre of the ground. It's Clark and Jones in there for Coorparoo versus Halinga. Jones gets high, as does Halinga. No one wins the knockout. It's kicked through by Warden. Warden to centre half back. Picked up by Craig Carter. Can't get it away cleanly. Wern picks it up to left foot. It's Jeff Everett. Sorry, left foot kick. Long towards the goal square. No one home for either side. It's Thies and Hoffman. Thies gets the knockout in. He's grabbed, we're not in possession. The umpire's seen that, and he's seen that, and he said he's picked it up. Play on, he calls. Thies running towards the grandstand side, looking for Halinga unopposed. He takes a nice mark. Dummies around 1, around 2. Oh no, he's caught now.
Tried to do too much. They've lost it. Coorparoo pick up the ball. Comes out to
Mick Warden again.
Up to centre half forward.
There's trouble. Coorparoo free kick on that forward flank there to Jeff Everett. Don't think he'll kick that, Grant, but he'll go awfully close. He put it right in the goal square. He was grabbed when not in possession.
50 metres out, half forward flank. He's looking to centre it. No. Will take 2. Comes back.
No leads forthcoming. That's bad play from the Coorparoo camp. They should be fanning out in all directions here. A long kick up towards the goal square. Grabbed by a Mayne player. Yes, that's Brett Jugovic again. Nice overhead mark. He's taken a couple of good marks there today. He goes back. Long towards the far side of the ground. Looking out there for Brent Tapp. He can't take it. It's nearly pulled in there by Wern. No, Tapp's got it now. Left foot kick. Looking for Knight. Knight knocks it on further afield. Can't pick it up. Coorparoo hot on the hammer. The umpire reckons it was a trip, so he played a free kick to Colin Knight. Knights came into the side as a late replacement for Foster McKenzie.
He brings the ball up towards half forward. Thump from the back of the pack. Mayne running through. Teasdale to lead. The ball is wide. He gathers it in though. No, he loses it. Now he gathers it in. He's lost it again, Teasdale. He dives on top of the ball. Players go in hard. They're looking to get a shot at goal, but the umpires called a halt to proceedings. We'll just wait and see what the umpire's decision is.
I think it'll be a ball up here, Grant. I couldn't see anything that warranted being singled out for a free kick, so I think it'll be a ball up in the right forward pocket there.
Desperation from Teasdale, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the ball was wide, he put the hand out, he had it, he lost it, he had it, he lost it again. Is the ball up, Mayne in attack, 35 metres out from their goals, almost directly in front. Players go high. Looks as though Mayne are unable to capitalise on the good advantage they had just a few moments ago. Not a good kick, but in fact it's a lucky one, and it finds Terry Simmons leading. He brings the ball up towards full forward. Teasdale leads out and takes a mark on his chest, unattended, Graham Teasdale. You can't allow him, even though he's not the quickest player on the field, Nat, you can't allow him too many metres.
No, he has that ability to get out on his own, Grant, and he was 10 metres clear of any Coorparoo player. They're bad play from Paul Ross, who's done a fairly good job on him since half-time.
He's got 4 goals to his credit, Teasdale. It's a drop punt. He lines up.
Not a very good one either. Coorparoo in front.
Make the distance.
Stephen Pine takes a chest mark, plays on quickly, gets it across to Johnny Griffin. A long right foot kick towards the wing. Carl Gray comes in, can't grab it cleanly. Now no, still can't pick it up.
Good backing up from Coorparoo. They've given him time to gather the ball and bring the ball up towards half forward, but a strong mark coming out through Teese in defence. He plays on quickly, looks for a teammate up the ground. He finds him.
Simpson.
He plays on quickly. Simpson goes onto the left boot up towards full forward. Teasdale in front has the ball punched away from him, but he butters up well. Teasdale. Umpires blowing the whistle. No, they play on, calls the umpire. Now he blows the whistle and he's picked out a free kick. It's going to go to Mayne.
Can't help but disagree with that one, Grant. I mean, the guy, he put his head down a little bit, but without sounding like a hypocrite, he was grabbed far too high then, and he had no opportunity to get rid of that football. I thought he was a bit harshly done by Johnny Griffin. Anyway, Mayne, I think it's Tony Allen, or is it?
Looks like Anthony Allen.
Tony Allen from the far forward pocket comes in. The right foot kick. I think he's missed it. One behind is the score.
10 goals, 19, 79 Mayne. Coorparoo 11 for 70. Mayne seemingly have stemmed that early Coorparoo thrust in the first 10 minutes of the quarter, and they seem to have steadied down somewhat now.
Yes, but you can't write the Roo off. They'll come back strongly. A goal here would make it very interesting, Grant. A long kick from the kick out to centre half back. A lovely mark by Brett Djokovic. He's taken 2 beautiful marks in this final quarter. Keeps this up, he'll go close to man of the match, I'd say. Long kick, looking for Teasdale again, leads to the far side. Paul Ross, too strong. A great experienced footballer there, great mark by an experienced footballer, Grant. He just used his body to perfection. I could see from here that Paul Ross wasn't going to get anywhere near that football.
Teasdale was determined to get that ball and nothing was going to stand in his way. So Teasdale lines up. I doubt very much that this kick will...
he's hit the post.
Other one. In fact, he's hit the post.
Oh my God, Coorparoo still in this match there, Grant. 10 goals, 20, 80 points to 11 goals, 470. Here we go. Umpire's calling it back.
Just a bit quick with the kick-off. The umpire hadn't finished waving the flags. And Griffin unable to take the mark, but it makes no difference. It has to go back.
You know, Grant, I sometimes wonder, I think that the onus should be on the goal umpire. Some of them take just that little bit too long. I think the whole idea of the game is to get it moving along quickly.
I think a lot of goal umpires know when the television cameras are on them, and they just expect that little bit of a pause.
Without getting too much of a rap over the knuckles from the Umpires Association, I think too many of the umpires know when the TV camera's on them.
Ball goes over the boundary line from the kick-off. Half forward. Mayne in attack. Marginally. Right in front of the grandstand.
Jones in ruck for Coorparoo and Halinga again. Jones gets the front position. Nice little knockdown. Kicked by Warden. Long. Gutsy mark by Mick Lenahan. He's about to play on.
He was off.
And the umpires said play on. He's giving him another chance. I think he's very lucky to get away with that, Mick Lenahan.
And 15 metres to boot. Do you mind?
Anyway, he kicks it towards the centre of the ground to Wern leading. Wern takes his eye off the ball. Just a sin in this game. A long run by Anthony Allen from Mayne. He goes long. The right foot has a long shot for goal. Looking for Teasdale. He can't mark it. Paul Ross at the back of the pack picks it up. A left foot kick. Looking for that boundary line. No one there for Coorparoo. Here we've got Ross. Terry O'Neill backing up well now. Clark comes in to help him. Left foot kick down the centre wing. Lovely mark by Shipside. Shipside's across to Chapman. Chapman in towards centre half forward. Looking for Allen. And Allen's marked it. A strong mark. Would have been unlucky not to get that. He would have got a push in the back.